Can you imagine a world without clapping? No thunderous applause at the end of a concert, no polite clapping after a speech, no enthusiastic clapping during a sporting event. It's hard to picture, isn't it? Clapping is such an ingrained part of human behavior that it seems almost instinctive. But, have you ever stopped to wonder, who clapped first? What ancient human, witnessing something remarkable, decided to express their approval by striking their hands together? The truth is, we may never know the exact origins of clapping. Like many human behaviors, its roots likely stretch back into prehistory, lost to the mists of time. However, we can find traces of this universal gesture in the archaeological and historical records of ancient civilizations. These remnants provide fascinating glimpses into how clapping evolved from a simple expression of approval into a complex social and cultural practice. So, while we may never pinpoint the precise moment the first clap echoed through the air, we can trace its journey through history, uncovering the surprising and diverse ways humans have used this simple act to express a kaleidoscope of emotions. From the amphitheaters of Rome to the sacred rituals of ancient tribes, clapping has played a surprisingly significant role in shaping human history and culture. Clapping's roots run deep, reaching back to the cradle of civilization. In ancient Mesopotamia, cuneiform tablets depict audiences clapping at religious ceremonies and royal processions. These early Mesopotamians believed clapping could ward off evil spirits and invoke the favor of the gods. The Egyptians too incorporated clapping into their rituals and celebrations. Paintings and hieroglyphs depict dancers and musicians accompanied by rhythmic clapping, demonstrating its integral role in their cultural expression. Clapping wasn't just for entertainment, it was woven into the very fabric of their society. Across the Mediterranean, the ancient Greeks embraced clapping with equal enthusiasm. They used it to show appreciation for poetry, plays, and athletic competitions. Greek philosophers even pondered the nature of clapping, with Plato describing it as an expression of shared joy and wonder. These early civilizations recognized the power of clapping to unify people, amplify emotions, and create a sense of shared experience. It wasn't merely a sound, it was a potent symbol of collective sentiment. The Romans, known for their love of spectacle and grandeur, took clapping to new heights. In the grand amphitheaters and theaters of the Roman Empire, applause was not just expected, it was often orchestrated. Wealthy patrons and ambitious politicians would hire professional clappers, known as claqueurs, to ensure a favorable reception for their chosen performers or speakers. These claqueurs were highly organized, with different groups specializing in various forms of applause. There were those trained in the bombus, a low, rumbling clap designed to create an atmosphere of anticipation. Others specialized in the ambres, a sudden, thunderous outburst intended to signify overwhelming approval. This organized applause wasn't always about genuine appreciation. It could be used to manipulate public opinion, sway political decisions, or even sabotage rivals. The practice of paying for applause reveals the complex relationship between power, manipulation, and the seemingly simple act of clapping in ancient Rome. The use of claques reached its zenith during the Roman Empire, where emperors themselves employed these professional applauders. These imperial claques were not merely there to boost the ego of the ruler, they were tools of political power. Emperors like Nero and Caligula, infamous for their tyrannical reigns, used claques to manufacture public support and silence dissent. A well-timed outburst of applause could drown out the whispers of discontent or amplify a ruler's pronouncements, creating an illusion of popular approval. This manipulation of applause highlights the darker side of this seemingly innocent act. It demonstrates how something as simple as clapping can be co-opted and contorted to serve the interests of the powerful, reinforcing the notion that even the most innocuous human behaviors can be imbued with complex political dimensions. Beyond entertainment and politics, clapping has played a profound role in religious and spiritual practices across cultures. In many traditions, clapping serves as a bridge between the earthly and the divine, a way to connect with the sacred and express devotion. In Hinduism, rhythmic clapping is an integral part of devotional music and dance. The clapping, often accompanied by chanting or singing, helps to induce a state of trance and facilitates a deeper connection with the divine. Similarly, in many indigenous African cultures, clapping is an integral part of rituals and ceremonies, used to invoke spirits, celebrate harvests, and mark important life events. Clapping in these contexts transcends mere applause. It becomes a form of prayer, a way to communicate with the spiritual realm and express the deepest yearnings of the human soul. The evolution of clapping in the theatrical world offers a fascinating microcosm of its changing social significance. In the 17th and 18th centuries, theater audiences were known for their boisterous and unrestrained applause. Clapping, cheering, and even foot-stomping were common expressions of approval. However, as theatrical performances became more nuanced and sophisticated, so too did the etiquette of applause. The slow clap, once a genuine expression of prolonged appreciation, gradually morphed into a tool of sarcasm and disapproval. What was once a sincere ovation transformed into a subtle but cutting form of criticism. This evolution of the slow clap illustrates how even the most straightforward gestures can acquire layers of meaning and irony over time, reflecting the ever-changing dynamics of social interaction and cultural expression. Why does clapping feel good? What is it about this simple act of striking our hands together that elicits feelings of pleasure and satisfaction? Neuroscience offers some intriguing insights. Studies have shown that clapping stimulates the release of endorphins, the body's natural feel-good chemicals. Endorphins have pain-relieving and mood-boosting effects, creating a sense of euphoria and well-being. This physiological response may explain why clapping, even when not associated with any particular event or performance, can feel inherently satisfying. Furthermore, clapping is often a communal activity, performed in unison with others. This synchronization of movement and sound can foster a sense of unity and belonging, strengthening social bonds and creating a shared emotional experience. Just as clapping has evolved throughout history, it continues to adapt and diversify in the modern world. From the thunderous applause of a packed stadium to the polite clapping at a business conference, the way we clap reflects the nuances of our social interactions and cultural norms. In some settings, traditional clapping has given way to more specialized forms of applause. Snap applause, with its quiet snapping sound, is often favored in jazz clubs and poetry readings, creating an atmosphere of intimate appreciation. Jazz hands, with their exuberant waving fingers, are a staple of musical theater and drag performances, expressing a more flamboyant and celebratory form of approval. The digital age has even brought about virtual clapping, with emojis like the clapping hands becoming ubiquitous expressions of approval in online spaces. These modern variations demonstrate the adaptability of clapping, its ability to transcend cultural boundaries and evolve alongside our ever-changing forms of communication. While clapping is a nearly universal gesture, there are some cultures where it is considered inappropriate or even offensive. In Japan, for example, clapping is generally reserved for informal settings like concerts and sporting events. In more formal contexts, such as after a speech or a traditional performance, bowing is the customary way to show respect and appreciation. This cultural difference highlights the importance of understanding and respecting diverse social norms. What might be a spontaneous expression of approval in one culture could be misconstrued as rude or disrespectful in another. The taboo against clapping in certain Japanese settings serves as a reminder that even the most seemingly universal human behaviors are shaped by a complex interplay of cultural norms, historical context, and social etiquette. It underscores the importance of cultural sensitivity and the need to approach cross-cultural interactions with respect and understanding. It's wild how something so simple, just slapping your hands together, has traveled through politics, rituals, and psychology. If you learned something new today, give this video a clap of your own by hitting like. And if curiosity is your thing, don't forget to subscribe.